Welcome back to another mindset video. Great to see you today. Sourena and I are going to talk about focus. In our hyper-connected world, focus has become one of the most precious yet elusive resources. We know we need it, but it's harder than ever to maintain it. We're constantly bombarded by notifications and all sorts of things, opportunities, distractions, things that promise instant gratification. Yet the most meaningful achievements in life, building relationships, advancing your career, creating something valuable, require sustained attention over time. The challenges aren't just external noise too, but our own psychology working against us. That inner voice that talks to us and sometimes with not the best messages that help us be successful. Our brains are wired for survival, not success, which means they naturally gravitate towards comfort and immediate rewards rather than the discomfort that comes with growth. And that's where it's so important to understand all that and learn about focus. So Sourena, there's a fascinating tension between acknowledging real challenges versus falling into a victimhood, right? You mentioned that every excuse has at least a dose of truth to it. How do you help people or yourself distinguish between legitimate obstacles that need addressing and a victim mindset that becomes a distraction?
My journey of victimhood is being myself about it. My handicap is not my fault, but it is my responsibility. I could take responsibility for my own life.
So Sourena, you describe an interesting concept called the mind marination method. And you referenced Jonathan Hari's insight about mind wandering. This seems counterintuitive, right? How can stepping away from our goals actually help us achieve them? It doesn't make sense to me. Can you explain the balance between focused work and intentional rest?
You know, when you think I was still for a long time, and you can't forget us,
Right?
and you shower, when you start thinking about it, the self take over. I can't tell you how many times I figure stuff out when I think I very much because my brain is not trying hard.
Excellent. Yes, it's one of those things like we've all had moments where we're trying to figure out a problem, figure out an answer, figure out a solution, be creative, and we're working, we're obsessing over it, and that actually gets us stuck sometimes. So that intentional rest, stepping away, going for a jog, taking a ride in your chair, sometimes just relaxing in the shower, an idea pops in there. But I know it's happened for me too, where all of a sudden it's clear when you actually take a step away.
But there's a catch.
But there's a catch.
You don't wanna fill your time with nonsense. You don't wanna fill your time online. You don't wanna argue on text. You don't wanna do anything that would stress you out more.
Right? That's your concept of intentional rest.
Get on that rest. That's just running.
So Sourena, I remember you once told me that your parents had a rule against saying life isn't fair. And your father always repeated that you all were the luckiest people on earth. How did this early language conditioning shape your approach to reframing challenges? And what role does that language play in maintaining focus?
Well, you need to focus on the positive.
You need to focus on the positive.
You need to focus on everything that can happen rather than everything that can happen. Positivity is a principle of success.
Fantastic. I know one thing that you said to me one time was when you were asked about the use of your right arm, and somebody said, "Does that bum you out?" And you said, "I'm just glad that my other arm works." Right? That's your whole glass is half full, but also half empty mentality.
I would literally try out at the care. I could not get out of my house. I could not go on a bike. I could not burden over text. I have about 1,000 things that I can do that I couldn't do if the arm was working.
So Sourena, you argue that focusing on helping others achieve their goals is actually a powerful strategy for you to achieve your own, right? It seems like that could be a little bit weird. This goes against the common advice to focus on yourself first. Can you elaborate on your counterintuitive approach and share how it's worked for you in your own life and writing?
But the fucking I was stuck on my head. When I met the best version of myself. I started to think of everything I gotta do. When I understand that other people have challenges That man a lot easier. I know I'm not alone. I can empathize with other people. But I'll tell you, that man was so awful. Then I will not be able to move forward.
Yeah, that's one thing that Sourena will always say is, when he talks about focusing on yourself and others, is just out there looking for win-win relationships, because that's what life is all about.
If you are succeed in life, you don't have to help others. Every single job involves doing at least one other person.
So you say that focus is as simple as putting time and energy into what's getting you closer to your goals. Can you elaborate more on that?
If you want to rate, you gotta focus on exercise, eating right. If you're a great company, you gotta focus on everything that is to be done. If you want to make good kids, you gotta focus on everything that you need. Don't focus on stuff that won't be.
So that's it for this week. We'll see you again soon.
Bye now.
Bye now.